Here I have all the parts for a 2015 Ducati Multistrada. These are the TouraTech OEM engine guards. I just had them powder coated, and these are all the bits and pieces that come with it. So I'm going to be assembling this, put these back on the bike, and hopefully you find this video informative. This is the right side bracket. Looking at it on the bike, this is going to mount with the top radiator hole. This bracket here, you notice there's a welded nut on it. This will go face into the center of the bike, so this is actually the right side bracket. These are going to mount here like so. This tension bolt is going to go through there, and the light is going to mount on there like so. So I'm going to mount this. I'm going to fix this bracket up because there's another bolt that goes through this hole here. It's got a square plug, which is this little bolt here. So I'm going to put these two pieces together, and same on the left side, mount the light, and then I shall actually mount the bracket on the bike. Yeah, it's a little tight because the powder coating's filling that hole a little. Just gonna put this in here to keep these brackets lined up. Okay, that's good. And I'm going to put the light on. And side, just use an Allen to screw it into the welded nut on the bracket. And then this side's got a little bit of a slot which gives you a little bit of adjustment vertically on the light. Allen on the back side of it. And I can finally adjust those when I can actually turn them on. And get rid of my little sticker there showing which light was right and which light was the left. And then that was just basically the cable connector, which is zip tied on the inside. So that's basically the assembly. I'm going to do the same thing on the left side. I can turn the camera off, you don't need to see that. And then we'll actually fit the bars. And the black piece, this piece here, has 3 screws. And then right here is a combo of a screw and this flat washer that normally sits behind here. This is 24 mil across the flats. I've actually found this to be such a pain in the butt to get a wrench on back here. Not so much on this side, but more so on the other side where I've got more equipment. So I just literally, I've put a zip tie on it and I just cut it because it's just so much easier to deal with. This black rubber grommet here kind of captures it, so you just pop it off. There it is. Now, I'm hoping you can see deep in here, if I can get the light right for the GoPro. This is the top radiator nut that I'm on. There's no retaining nut on the back of it. It goes into a threaded piece of the frame, and this is where the right side bracket is going to mount. And she's loose. Not much to it. Here I have the right side bracket. This is going to go through here. To the hole. Line her up. I think I've got that going. I'm going to tighten that up when I get the rest of the crash bars on, so everything lines up and this bracket is set at the correct angle. The crash bar mounts here and here. At the top here it has a big washer and a, I guess you call it a domed Allen, and then down the bottom here it has the big nut here. It also has a plastic washer that goes between the frame. So I'm just going to put these on just hand tight for now. Plastic washer and my nut. Now, can't tighten these up too much because you actually have to slip the black plastic piece and the white piece in behind them. So I found that I'll leave this a little loose so I can pull it out a little bit just to give me enough clearance to get back in there. With those roughly in position now, I feel I can now tighten this up because it's pretty much locked in where this bracket needs to be. Should be good. Now this wire was already, you can say it was already installed for me from the factory, so I don't know where this wire is buried if you're doing a first time installation that connects to the light here. So it looks like they run across from the left hand side of the bike. Crossbar slides in. I guess there's two ways this can go in. But I think there's only one way it fits, and that's with this bar tucked down deep under the radiator like that. There's basically a bolt, two washers, one goes on the top, one goes on the bottom. Just slides through like so. And I'm probably not going to tighten these up because now I'm going to put the panels back on. So this, I think I usually have to take these all the way out so I get a little bit of play at the bottom here. What I'm going to do is put on this this rubber grommet that sits on the back of the radiator mount here. Feed that on. That's on. Slides backwards. One in place. Now I'm just going to pull this rubber grommet through here. It's a bit of a pain in the butt, but once it starts to come, it's not too bad. There we go. And I just take a zip tie, push it through the back. Try it in a minute. Again, these are the mount point at the bottom, the mount point at the side. Hardest part is actually getting this tab into this gap down here. Actually, might need to loosen this up a little bit. And of course, you can take this whole thing off if you really want to, give you enough clearance, but I can usually sneak this puppy in. Goes. So side panel on, just tighten this guy up, okay, tighten that guy up, and then finally tighten this. And this bolt's only really holding this into the engine mount bolt, so you don't have to do this up murder tight. I have no torque specs for it, so I just do it to where I feel it's comfortable. And that's it. Done. It's tight. That's good. And the last one I need to do is this with a 5mm and a 10mm wrench. There she is.